Well, I guess you didn't catch it by the program notes. I went to Iraq at one point in time. I was in the Marine Corps there. And I've been writing a book about the experiences, but I'm going to take just a small excerpt from the book that relates to this piece I'm going to play today. I've sort of adapted it tonight for the program notes. The piece I'll play is called Missing Coot, and it has, it's followed a piece of poetry that I wrote when I was in Iraq called Missing Music. So here's the excerpt. I had heard a lot about what war was really like when I went to Iraq. One of the things I had heard that war was 90% boredom and 10% sheer terror. I should like to that it meant 99.9% boredom and about 0.1% sheer terror. Boredom may be even a greater enemy than the flies or disease that we encountered. During my time in the city of Suwaira, with little to do and much time to think, I began to miss home. I began to miss my friends, and after hearing music for the first time in months, I began to miss it terribly too. At our next operating base in the city of Al-Qut, I was riding home to a friend in New Orleans named Hannibal. He was a friend and mentor of mine for many years before I went to Iraq. At a loss for some of the interactions that we had had, I closed the letter, waiting for the music, Jason. Immediately after I'd penned it, the phrase grew a life of its own, and in just a few more moments I'd written the following poem called Missing Music. So here's the poem. Waiting for the music and longing for the freedom of the gifts that God has given me, sooner to return and never to forget the language that will pacify the world. May I always be alive with and ever conscious of the visions of love He has made in us, so that I may paint the world's ears in their color. Fortunately, I would not have to wait for the music much longer. I soon after met Ali Hussein Jabir, a local oud player, and began to develop a strong friendship with him as I studied the oud with him. From Ali, I met many other musicians and artists and had an unbelievably rich cultural experience amongst the war. I will not forget these men, Abbas, who was the most amazingly complex country tunes, the older Ali Hassan, an incredibly wise man who spoke 8 languages fluently, Jariz, the brilliant poet, who could recite more English poetry than I ever could, and Ahmed, the ambitious. How can I describe Ahmed? Ahmed is the brother of the famous Iraqi artist El Fadil, and he was a visionary in his own way, a romantic, a dreamer, whose love affair with Mozart and classical music ran deep. Youthful and full of aspiration, he was so curious about the world. When I returned to the United States, I began to miss my friends in Qut much more strongly than I ever missed the music when I was there. For them, I've written Missing Qut. After I'd written the piece in early 2004, the infrastructure in Iraq had greatly improved, and I was eventually able to communicate with my Iraqi friends online, even if only for brief periods of time, before the internet connections would fail. Ahmed became very close to me and also to my mother, who began to chat with my Iraqi friends online too. He even asked that she call him Ibni, an endearing term that a mother would use to call her own son. I received word from Ali via email in April 2006. Ahmed was gone. Hi Jason. Bad news, Ahmed killed in Baghdad by a big blow-up. Now I'm in Baghdad too and go to Qut to be with his family. I'm so sorry and I'm so sad. Though this piece is for all of my Iraqi friends. It's now special for my dear friend Ahmed, the ambitious.
Thank you.